Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the LA Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano. He covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? What a day. What a long day one of free agency. Legal tampering window, right? The words there, tampering. It's okay now to talk
Today's
to
here,
outside free agents, and it's been a wild day,
but only
Fernando.
unrestricted free agents, not
Yeah.
restricted free
No.
agents.
I hadn't even started on the you call it like tenders
Yeah,
and restricted. No, don't even get no
contenders.
unrestricted free agents. And Fernando was my first, I guess, free agency
How has life
working
changed
with
for you?
SI. Yeah, so it's not like when you saw Eric Hendricks, go off or whatever. What was it, like 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Pacific time? I would have been scrambling trying to figure that out, get that confirmed, do a story. But now my job is different. I'm trying to keep an eye on all 32 teams, and we have this thing on SI where we try to grade every major signing. I'm like, okay, it can't be that hard. And dude, as you know, from 9 a.m. to what? I just did a whole blurb on Matt Gay, the kicker, who made the most money ever in free agency history for a kicker. Matt Gay, 9 p.m. On the West Coast. So nonstop news and little boom, 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 reported, agreed, stuff like that. Little small details out there in the NFL world.
And folks, don't forget, re-signed is RE
Yeah.
dash SIN. Don't forget that. I see a lot of people put resign as if they've left their job. So definitely don't forget about that. No, that's interesting, Gilbert. I mean, obviously, that's different, completely different from being on the beat. But what you got rocking there? I see you got a sweatshirt. I see you got the hat. I got the hat. I
You
know you
too.
called you the last 2 weeks. You've been calling me out, so I wore the hat today. What you got there? Where can, if I don't have a sweatshirt, where can I get one?
Fernando, I'm glad you asked. Fresh, new merch. Come on the beat. You gotta check out the website. Uh, Fantastic job by Caroline. CompasOnTheBeatMerch.com. Password Compas exclusive. You like that? Fancy. Compas exclusive.
Exclusive.
It sounds fancy, but also we want to make it first look for the supporters. So, I load up on hoodies, I load up on hats, I load up on shirts. So you're a supporter of Compas on the Beat. You follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube,
What?
obviously, or start
What?
on YouTube. Go out to the website and check the link in the description. Make it easier. I'll put the passcode there. But yeah, busy 4 days doing the website and now to free agency. So yeah, do I look okay though? And a good
No, it
mercher.
looks good. I mean, I was gonna say, does it have that new car smell? But I don't know about that.
Actually,
I
it
just
does. Yeah,
probably. Oh, it
yeah,
does. Okay, okay. I
yeah.
thought
I
it
got
was
to
in.
give you a second one because I've been using the first one that I had.
There you go. But no, it's awesome, and I mean, obviously, like we told you guys, we've grown. We're up to 5 shows now, doing a lot of different things. So obviously, definitely awesome stuff happening here. And again, thank you to Caroline for that, for putting her genius in her artistic genius into that, because I don't think any of us are artistic like that. So definitely her vision is on there. She was the quarterback. She was the Patrick Mahomes leading the blind, basically. So definitely shout out to her.
Who am I? Juju Smith Schuster.
Yeah,
Okay.
I Dan and Daygo's Travis Kelsey for sure. Because if he was in front of the microphone, he'd blurt out exactly what Travis Kelsey said. So I think, yeah, you're
He
probably
could be
Juju.
Creed Humphreys' man crush.
Oh, yeah. You know what? He does have a man crush on Creed Humphrey. That is true. But I mean, I guess the personality. But yeah, probably. But definitely some awesome stuff. But all right, Gilbert, time to get into it. Free agency has started off nuts. Just based off of your the day one, obviously, what was your biggest takeaway from today?
Yeah, Fernando, before I answer the question, I'm going to open it up to the audience here. The engagement question of the week, a different show this week because it's late on the West Coast. We're going to do one show per, I guess, day, whatever it is,
Yeah.
to kind of drop the news there. But on this first episode, free agency recap, who won the day one of free agency? Let me know in the comments, listeners and viewers of Compas on the Beat. Who won day one of free agency? If you want to get it going, Fernando, go ahead.
Matt Gay, are you kidding? 4 years, 22
He ended the
million
day too.
from the Indianapolis Colts. He ended the day on a high note. Kickers are people too. He got 4 years. That's the when we talk about the bag for being a kicker, that's the bag right there. So I'm gonna go Matt Gay, man. I mean, the dude's making bank. So
Man,
obviously, man,
so are we gonna get back to this, or can I answer my question now? Who won the
you
day
answer. No,
before
you
the end?
answer. No, your
Okay.
turn.
I really like what the Falcons are doing, revamping that defense. I know, I haven't got time to really digest, the whole signings for them in terms of teams. That we're going to talk about it right now, and it's going to come to me. But I kept seeing the Falcons, Jesse Bates,
What?
and who was a bunch of defense I'm already blanking on. But
Dude, they traded for John. Remember when Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith went to the Patriots? Everybody's like, "That's a steal. That's a steal. That's a steal." Now Jonnu Smith goes to the Falcons for a 7th round draft pick. Like, it's crazy. And I mean, I saw somebody go, "Nobody look at his Patriots highlights. Look at what he did with Tennessee, because obviously he was with Arthur Blank in Tennessee, and now he's down there." But man, it's yeah, I agree with you. I like what the Falcons did. By the way, shout out to Tyler Dragon, Compa. He was the one that mentioned that at the Super Bowl, if you remember.
yeah,
He said Jesse Bates, watch out for Atlanta.
dude,
So
the first thing I thought when I saw Bates leaving, I was like, I had Tyler Dragon in my head. Jesse Bates is gone. He's gone. He's gone.
yeah, he's out of there. So I definitely
But
agree with that.
to refresh my memory, they also got the defensive tackle from the Saints, who you know a little underrated if you haven't been following the Saints. He David something only. I don't want to butcher his last name, but he's a good run stopper. They re-sign. Oh, it's Tyler Dragon's birthday. There you go. Shout out Tyler Dragon, according to Victor Producer. But they also I think they re-signed their center too. So you mentioned the trade. So a lot of big massive move for the Falcons, and they still need a quarterback. But I do like what they did today to kind of get some talent, young talent, and not get too crazy with the spending either.
Wonder what they're going to do at quarter. That's gonna be interesting, because Kyle Pitts probably foaming at the mouth for them to get a good quarterback in there to kind of get him the football, because I know he must have not been very happy last year with obviously the ball not getting thrown his way that often. But all right, it's time to move on. What was your biggest takeaway from day uno?
Yeah, interior defensive lineman. I think I was saying they're going to get paid, and it was just interesting how these contracts came out. And I guess we could start with maybe the biggest one of the day to start off with. Well, Darion Payne from the Commanders got paid the day before,
Yeah,
massive contract. But Javon Hargrave of the Eagles got paid by the 49ers.
that was a surprise.
That was a surprise because I thought they were hurting on the cap again. I feel like next year I should give up on the cap and be like, everybody has cap space. You make it work. Obviously, you have to get creative with the restructure there. But surprisingly, when you really look at it, like the 49ers had issues in the interior. Obviously, they're great in the outside with Joy Bosa, Nick Bosa. They needed some help, but that front is very, I guess, menacing, or I was going to say savage.
Yeah,
There you go. I guess it's savage. But Javon
that was
Hargrave and Victor brought a good point. Like, he is older on his third contract. I think he went from the Steelers, right, to
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Eagles, and then that was a big bargain contract for the Eagles, and it was a steal. He did well, and I know he's older, but the way I see it for the 49ers is that maybe it's obviously got to pay the 3-year deal because you got to pay to get these stars, but you're all in again. They're all in 2023. You got McCaffrey. You got to make that deal work, because if you trade all those picks for McCaffrey and you don't win it, it's a bust. So remember we were talking about the Dolphins. By the way, that's another one. Jalen Ramsey getting traded. But if you're going all in like Miami, you're going all in like San Francisco. I understand it from that point of view. But yeah, Darion Payne got paid. Draymond Jones from going to the Broncos to the Seahawks. That one I don't like as much because Draymond Jones is a great pass rusher, but he struggles against the run. And what do the Seahawks need? A run stopper. And they didn't really get that, but he is promising there. And then the one that I really like, the guy who I kept doing my research on, who keeps getting better every single year, who might be kind of a gem, Zach Allen, the guy from the Cardinals who went to the Broncos to replace Draymond Jones, which, you know what, he can actually stop the run. And I kept thinking about maybe for the Raiders there for Zach Allen, but obviously Vance Joseph coach Zach Allen in Arizona, so that makes a lot of sense there. But all these contracts, even right now, Fernando, I kept making you guys wait because Dalvin Tomlinson from the Vikings to the Browns got paid. So a lot of these interior defensive linemen, we brought it up last week too, like guys like Chris Jones, Quentin Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Jeffrey Simmons, these interior guys, they're catching up to Aaron Donald, man, and they're about to get paid.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And the funny part about Hargrove is that the way the 49ers, and I don't know how it's going to be with now that D'Amico Ryans is gone, but the way they run their defense is they have a lot of heavy rotation. So he's not going to have to play every single down. They're going to be able to rest him. They're going to be able to do different things with him. So they're going to keep those guys fresh, which I think is going to be a huge positive for him, especially like you said, he's at not an advanced stage. I don't want to call him an advanced stage, but he's not like in football years, he kind of is. So I definitely agree with you.
He's younger than I am, put it that way.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he definitely will make an impact. But I'm gonna go with the offensive line. I remember from a young age, I used to think like every single time a team wins a Super Bowl, teams try and copy what they do and see what they did well. Well, what did the Chiefs do well? Andy Reid loaded up that offensive line, and he had a 5-star offensive line. They couldn't touch Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. So and Andy Reid learned from that Tampa Bay game where they got obliterated by the pass rush, and here he loaded up that offensive line, and look what everybody's trying to do. Chicago, I think Chicago was about to get Mike McGlinchey, then the Broncos end up getting him. Broncos got Ben Powers and him. There was Dan and Daygo said it this morning. There was 4 offensive linemen, all like AFC West connection, that combined they made $250 million. That's how much they want to like. Obviously, Sean Payton wants to protect Russ. Then you go to look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs end up letting Orlando Brown walk, and they end up getting Jawan Taylor. Like that's huge. That tells me that their mindset still is which I mean, obviously it should be. We got to protect Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be key. So they're going to keep protecting him. They got him. Now they're looking for a right tackle because Andrew Wiley went with the Washington Commanders. So. Yeah. But definitely offensive line got paid. Chicago, I still think needs to make Chicago. So I think needs to make a move offensively. I think they're going to try and go. I think they're going to try and get Orlando Brown and try and complete that offensive line. You already got DJ Moore. Go get Orlando Brown. Finish up that offensive line and give Justin Fields exactly what you think he needs to continue being ascending as a quarterback. So I definitely thought offensive linemen got paid today, and that's definitely good to see. But yeah, so I don't know.
Do you want to bring in your boy, your brother Dan and Daygo? Because I want to give him a shout out real quick here on the.
That's the funniest part. You call him my boy, but I think you two guys have the biggest bro.
Well, I can't bring myself to say he's my boy yet because we are.
It's backwards.
Oh, is it really? Oh, damn.
I was like, wait. I'm like, I think that's a pancake. So I kept looking through.
It says Pancake Squad.
Hey, either way, you know what the hell I'm up to, dude. You already know what the hell we're talking.
I can't believe you had it backwards.
I didn't even
put it together. I'm like, wait, that's a pancake, I think.
That's right. It's Pancake Platoon. Because you know why? You know why? I'm waiting for my shout out. That's why I'm just.
What I was gonna do is, well, you threw me off with your backwards flag.
That's what I do. I keep you on your toes, guy. I put it backwards to see if you'd even notice.
It's been a long day. I didn't. It took me a while. You set me up to give you a zinger there, and I didn't do it. So okay, I'm tired.
4D chess. That's what I play all the time.
There you go. You got me, Dan. You exposed me for being tired, but I do remember giving you a shout out the second that the Chiefs got Jawan Taylor from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I started thinking, oh, Dan was right. And when I did my top 50 free agents list, I needed some help. I'm not ashamed to say, hey, I need some help. I can't, watch an entire league here, especially my first year trying to be a full league reporter. And I'm like, hey, Dan, you know, Lyman, can you help me out and assess some of these guys? I gave you like 10 names, and you went crazy. I mean, you started watching the film, you started cranking out scouting reports. I'm like, you're doing too much for me, bro. Like, I just want you to rank these guys. But you gave me the scouting report on Orlando Brown Jr. and Jawan Taylor, the perfect scenario right here. So you kept saying Orlando Brown Jr., he's massive. It works for him, but he relies too much on that. And then I kept thinking, why won't they commit on the guy who got traded from Baltimore a couple of years ago, and then teams didn't want to give him a chance at left tackle, and the Chiefs were like, yeah, you know what, whatever, we'll make it work because we make it work here. And then they wouldn't commit, and it was so weird. And then they drew the line. Okay, dude, you're not gonna get paid here. We want somebody to commit long term, but we know where you standing here. We're not gonna pay you. And when Jawaan Taylor came, the other thing I thought too, Dan, before I let you do your 2 cents here, I'm trying to give you the full shout out here. When you gave me the top 10 list, I want to say Jawaan Taylor was your favorite lineman, and I was like, "Are you sure?" Like Orlando Brown Jr. is right there, and you broke it down, and you say it was a small sample size, but you watched the Chargers game, and you kept saying this guy, the way he plays against Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. When the guys are star edge rushers, he tends to deliver. And that's right there. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to make this guy top 15 in my free agent list. So you made me look good. Shout out to you. And again, what did you think when this went down?
Yeah, that was my thing. When to quote Sir Edward, one of our Compas on Compas FC, I hate to say I'm a lock, but I don't know what else to tell you, Gilberto. Like that's my thing, is like it was very little there was something I liked more out of Jawaan Taylor, which is like what I can't stand sometimes tackles do is I think they give up too much ground because they know they're on the edge. They know they have a little more space to play with because for the most part, competent quarterbacks are going to stay in the pocket. They're going to step up, right? That's why guards and centers don't have like really the space to kick back, but the tackles do. And I think a lot of the times Orlando Brown would kick too far to where homie's almost on Patrick Mahomes' lap. And I know freaking, of course, I drew a blank on her stupid name, but the wife wouldn't be happy about that, in other words. And, I thought Jawaan Taylor did a lot better job of, like, setting that edge, setting that pocket to where he wasn't exactly in Trevor Lawrence's face, because people forget, right? It doesn't matter if, like, it doesn't matter that you don't get a sack, right? Pressures matter. How close you get the offensive lineman matters, because you could literally fracture a finger, thumb, whatever you want by just having his throwing hand hit a helmet. You know what I mean? So that's what I thought Jawaan Taylor was a little more of a brick wall without having the size of Orlando Brown. Yeah, Orlando Brown Jr. I don't know why I've been saying Orlando Franklin this whole time on accident.
Wrong guy.
Why that
he started off that earlier when he did that short that Vic asked him for. He's like, Orlando Franklin. I'm like, dude, Orlando Franklin's a former Charger /
I don't know why it's stuck in my head. I don't know why.
I'm like, no, dude. I was like, it's Orlando Brown. He's like, oh yeah.
That's why, honestly, when I saw that move, I was so surprised the Jaguars didn't keep him. I mean, what more do you want to do? You got to keep good offensive linemen, pay him to make sure you keep, especially your rookie quarterback who had the chop house disaster of the year. Now you see him get a little better and develop. You would assume you'd want to keep these guys around. So I don't know. Did Orlando Brown play right tackle at some point? Maybe they just
played right tackle for the
Maybe
Ravens.
they switched tackles and he goes to the Jaguars.
Yeah, Ronnie Staley was the left tackle and he was the right tackle for them.
There you go. Maybe he goes to the Jaguars, dude. You never know.
They actually offered him, I thought, a big time deal last offseason, and he just said no. So they franchise tagged him. I don't know what they offered him this offseason, but last offseason I know they offered him a pretty big deal, and Orlando said no. So that's I
think this is smart anyway for the Chiefs, because like we talked about earlier, they have Creed Humphreys coming up, they have Joe Thuney coming up, and in my mind, the center is always the number one position I'm going to try and keep, especially because I think Creed Humphreys Humphrey or Humphreys, one or the other, Humphrey was a late round draft pick. He's still on a rookie deal, I assume. And you're getting obviously a lot more than what you're paying for this guy. He's one of the top in the league, I'd argue. So that's the guy who I'm looking out, the quarterback of the offensive line. That's the guy who I'm looking out to pay for.
Second round pick, but close enough.
It's funny. I saw today, and first person I reach out to before I did, I reach out to this individual. Well, obviously we all wanted to get his thoughts, but I reached out to our good friend Joe Morley, and I'm like, do you feel like you already lost free agency? He goes, hell yes, we did. And I'm like, why? He's like, a car crash waiting to happen. Speaking of car crashes, let's bring in Vic, the producer. Vic,
yo,
I gotta ask you, what did you think about Jimmy G? 3 years, $72 million. I saw a lot of Raider fans on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, what. They all said, we just got rid of a bum and we're trying to bring in a new one. Like all this stuff. I don't know how you feel about it, but we would definitely want to get your thoughts on the newest quarterback in Las Vegas. Wow, this guy in Las Vegas, he's probably in a dream scenario. My God.
Yes, no state tax. He can own the strip there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. John Moran Jr. over here.
Oh man.
Oh, too soon, Brown. Too soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it positive, and just because I really do like this signing, he knows
So do
McDaniel's
I.
office, he knows his offense. He took a team friendly deal. They didn't overpay. They're gonna end up paying him about 11 million against the cap, which helps them. I mean, I don't know what Raider fans are looking for in terms of who are you gonna go get? Lamar Jackson? You're not gonna get Lamar Jackson. You're not gonna pay two first round picks and then 40 million. Like, you need the number one thing you need on the Raiders is defense. Go and fix the defense. You've taken care of your quarterback priority right now, and you can go draft with the number 7 pick, or even in the second round, you can go and draft your future quarterback. So as of right now, you're done with your quarterback. You're set there. And so take care of your defense now, which they've started to do. I mean, they picked up what's his name from the Eagles, the safety,
Marcus Epps.
Marcus Epps, and then they re-signed Faison, who they had before.
Oh yeah, there's a winner.
You didn't need to bring that up.
No, I mean, they're not. He's not. He's not
What an
gonna.
off season,
He's not gonna
Taylor's
start
next.
for them, but he's more for depth. Like,
bro. But
like,
this is my thing though, bro. Like, if I'm a Raider fan, right now, I am so worried. Number one, that Devontae's going to want to leave, because that's another thing you can't have. You can't have another year or another 3 years of another quarterback who can't get him the football, can't be productive offensively. And it's like, what are you going to do at that point 3 years down the line? Because then McDaniels is out anyway and you're starting over.
This looks more like a 1-year contract though. If
Yeah,
you,
they
if you
cut
look,
him?
he has an out after they have an out after this season.
Oh, there you go. So tank for 2024 draft.
So basically, it's a 1 year. It's potentially a 1 year, $24 million contract. They have a potential out after this season.
Well, my biggest thing, Victor,
According to Spotrac.
My thing, Vic, is like at first thing I thought was like Jimmy G, who cares? And then it kind of feels like they're trying to maybe like just get by with, a middle tier quarterback, and it kind of feels like throwing the white flag without really throwing the white flag. And it feels like also like, I don't know if you saw this, Victor, but David Carr has been obviously running his mouth about the whole situation. But he kept saying that Josh McDaniels wants total control. He wants somebody he could like control at the line of scrimmage and just do it his way, because he probably feels the Patriot way is the best way, and that's where you get a Jimmy G. I get that. And he's gonna probably trying to go down swinging, at least if he gets a guy who does what he wants to do. That's probably why they clash with Derek Carr. But my thing is like, if you don't draft the quarterback like with that number 7 pick, and I get it, you don't have to reach. Maybe the Richardsons, Bryce Youngs, and CJ Stroud are gonna be gone number 7, and you don't want to trade up. We know you told me the stats last week about trading up. Those guys are not gone. I feel like the year is lost, like you mentioned, Dan. Like with Devontae Adams, like this roster, this team, I don't even care what they do in the next week or so. With Jimmy G at quarterback, I just see what if the coaching's good, maybe 8 to 9 games, but I don't see a wild card team. And I think that's where the frustration is coming from Raider fans. It feels like another year, but like with Derek Carr, right? Like maybe with Derek Carr gave you a little bit upside, or maybe it's the same thing. I don't know. But you're right. It's cheaper, but it kind of feels like, maybe this is plan B, plan C, and the plan, whatever the heck plan A was, maybe it didn't materialize, or maybe you see the team like the Panthers going up and trying to get that number 1 pick. Like, it just doesn't feel like their plans, if they have one, has worked out. And the other thing too, Victor, you could take it away from here, is what happened to the Jarrett Stidham experience? What happened with Jarrett Stidham being your cheaper option, and then he goes to the Broncos, and like, okay, here we go. You pay a little more for Garoppolo, but I guess regardless, Stidham and Garoppolo are supposed to be the bridge for 1 year.
Right. And I mean, as far as Stidham, I mean, once you decided that you were going to sign Jimmy G, this also means that you're not going to pay for a backup at this point. Your backup's going to be your rookie quarterback. Why are you going to pay? Like, I don't understand, like the Jameis Winston to the Saints as a backup. Why are you paying $10 million, $5 million for your backup? Like, it, to me, that's just throwing away money. But like, if you like, to me, it's kind of smart in a way, because they have a guy who can be the backup, who's the guy they drafted, or they signed undrafted from Cal. But if you're gonna draft a quarterback, that's gonna be your backup. Why are you gonna pay $5 million for Stidham to be your backup? So to me, that made this signals to me that the fact that they let Stidham go means that they're gonna draft a quarterback. Like they're committed to drafting a quarterback in this draft.
Well,
Yeah.
if they don't though, like I guess if they strike out on the three big names, like how would you feel about this year going in with just Garoppolo? like
I mean, look at what's going on. Everybody gets desperate. The one thing I do dislike about some of these teams is they get desperate this time of year. Look at what the Jets are having to wait for Aaron Rodgers, and you don't even know what you're going to get out of Aaron Rodgers, and like the Packers are just like, just go away already. Go away. Like we're ready to move on and give Jordan Love the job. Baltimore Ravens are like, look, like we're not going to overpay for Lamar Jackson. So go ahead and test the market and see what's out there. And nobody wants to go and pay for him. And so that's the thing that and then the last thing I'll say in terms of the AFC West, look at who you have. You have Patrick Mahomes and you have Justin Herbert. You have the Chargers trying to make a rule where you can you're able to not, if you, in case you don't win your division, you're able to host a playoff game because the division is so hard. Like now you even have Russell Wilson. And so you have to find
that's if you have a 4-game advantage. So
I was about to say,
if you're 4 games, like say that the Chargers are 12-5
or whatever,
and Jacksonville Jaguars are 8-9,
right,
then the Chargers would host that. Like so,
I've been saying that for years.
It's not a bad rule, but coming from the Chargers,
that's
pretty
embarrassing
though. To
that's
be honest,
the problem. Yeah, that's
like,
the problem.
Yeah,
Right
it's
there.
not embarrassed that you guys are pretty much saying we can't compete with the Chiefs or whatever, or
Yeah.
the Jaguars shouldn't have home field advantage or whatever the heck it was. Or do you feel embarrassed for that?
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm not trying to choose violence. Thank you,
if it would have been if it would have been somebody else coming out with that rule, then it would have been fine. But
I've been saying it for years.
Yeah, and that's fine going with the rule. I have no problem with the rule, but that just tells you how tough the AFC is going to be this year. And everybody's trying, like, and I get it. Like, people are frustrated. You can't just go out and find a quarterback. This is why the Panthers traded up to go get their quarterback because of that. Like, you're going to pay a bounty for it. And I even heard, I think I saw that Dan Graciano reported that the Raiders offered to trade up to the number 1 pick, but they just couldn't match what the Panthers offered in, DJ Moore. So that was the other thing too. So at least they're trying. Like, they're not just sitting back and being like, well, I guess we're just gonna end up with Jimmy G and that's it. At least they're trying to do something about it, and they're not just sitting back and like, you have to let the process play out. Like, you have a new regime. They're trying to do things differently. And Raider fans are just stuck in their old ways. They're stuck with Al Davis being able to just go out and get whoever he wanted. And you're not letting the process play out with the way the Patriots do things. And so until they relax, let the process play out, they're never going to be happy. And that's part of the problem.
That's why Raider fans die young. They never they're always so stressed out. They always they're always so nervous about everything. My question is though, which one of those quarterbacks fits Josh McDaniels? Like Josh McDaniels is such a weird offensive mind that like I just don't know who fits his system. Like, and I think that's another thing. 49er fans were fine with Jimmy G because they knew they had Kyle Shanahan as the offensive mind. I think Raider fans do not trust Josh McDaniels and his system, so that's why they're so nervous about them bringing in Jimmy G, because they're like, well, hell, what are we going to have? Then you have Devontae going off on social media today saying, hey, if I haven't talked to you in 3 weeks, I don't want to talk to you now. It's like, okay, well, I know there's a lot of now there's a lot of nervousness around the team. I saw some people compare it to Randy Moss when he was on with Kerry Collins and back in the 2005 and 2006 Raiders. Yeah. Then he got traded to the Patriots after that. But it's like, and I get it, but I get what Vic's saying. Like, you got to preach patience. But the thing is that I think patience has been lost by not only the owners, not only the executives, but now NFL fans too. I think everybody's lost their patience and they're not willing to toughen it out and to wait and to see. Because, I mean, let's be honest, and I know a certain individual is not going to be happy with the way I'm going to start this, but when Bill Belichick started with the Patriots, it wasn't all sudden, like, it started rough for them, and it took a little bit for them to finally get jump started, and then they got good. But the thing is that it takes a year or two for you to struggle to go through it, and then you see what you got as a team. You have to build a team because remember, unless you're what's his name for John Gruden, you're not going to win with the pieces that are already there. Like it's tough to win with pieces from somebody from another regime. So you want to get in there, you want to implement your guys, you want to put your system in there. But because he won with Tony Dungy's guys.
We're all waiting to make a remark here on what you just said. Let me start first, Dan. He just compared Josh McDaniels to Bill Belichick. Go ahead, Dan and Daygo.
Exactly.
They were together with the Patriots.
Exactly. And this was the
patience.
Bill
Belichick doesn't win the Super Bowl without Josh McDaniels.
It's like, where is it going with this one?
Oh,
but
no.
can I present some weird scenarios for you guys? Like, I feel like Dan won't like this one at all. So maybe for more Fernando and Victor. And I didn't know that report, Victor, about them trying to go to number one or to trade the Raiders. So now the next landing spot to trade is the Cardinals, right? Number 3, because they're gonna believe in Kyler Murray. That's their thing. That's their pillow, right?
I have something on that. I have something on that too, Gilbert. Go ahead.
But the question is, say the Raiders get that pick number 3, and Victor, the question would be, are you okay with trading up whatever it takes to get that? And then if you're the coach, Fernando, and they miss out on the 3 quarterbacks, do you go Will Levis or you go for Lamar Jackson?
I go Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yes. Okay. But
I don't like Will Levis. I don't know what it is about him. I just don't. I don't know. He leaves a bad taste. It's like when I go to Tacos El Gordo. It's overpriced. I have to go to the bathroom. It's not a good scene at all for my wallet or anything like that. So
wait, that's the Will Levis comparison?
Yeah, that's my Will Levis comparison. Tacos El Gordo.
I don't know if you could use that as a short, but go ahead.
By the way, I did comment. Somebody commented on a Vegas post. Oh, Tacos El Gordo's. Is it overrated? I'm like, that's overrated in San Diego, in Las Vegas, in Los Angeles, wherever the hell you want. It's overpriced and overplayed. And like 100 people liked my comment. I was waiting for Tacos El Gordo to come after me, but
we were drunk and it didn't taste as good, dude. Like, what more do you need to know?
Not good.
Hey, maybe they'll sponsor us. Who knows?
No. We got homies in that game.
The more thing about it, the more I feel like it's gonna end up being the Colts who might try to maybe lure Lamar Jackson away. But anyways, yeah, because number 3, because Irsay has the money and the Raiders don't have the money to pay Lamar Jackson, and then But he's also desperate. He's desperate for a star quarterback.
Exactly. That's the problem.
We could argue about player quality, but he is desperate. He wants a spark, Fernando? The flash. But yeah, Victor, I guess if are you all in on getting number 3, or like, okay, maybe Levis, or I don't know what's going on here.
If you're unable to get either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, you just stay put at that point. And like I've told you guys, if I just wouldn't trade your picks right now, I would let the draft fall to you, see if either Levis or Richardson falls to you. And then if not, then you draft the best available. You draft the best available player on defense, and then try to trade into the first round for Hayden Hooker at that point. But I had 2 things for you guys, because you guys made me think about this. One, I do think that if anybody is going to trade and try to get Lamar Jackson, it's going to be the Colts, and I think if that happens, then the Ravens are going to draft someone like Richardson at that spot, at the number 4 spot. No, that's one.
Go from Lamar Jackson to basically another Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then number 2, what do you guys think about Arizona Cardinals having the number 1 pick next year and having to draft Caleb Williams over Kyler Murray
already 2024?
Because let me break this down. Just give me like a couple of seconds here. Kyler Murray isn't going to be ready to go till like November, right? By then they could be like 0-10, maybe 1-10, somewhere in there. Jesus. And at that point, do you just tank? Now you end up tanking, right?
Please, we don't do this. It's illegal.
Yes. Now, if you're sitting there at number 1, if you're the Cardinals, are you drafting Caleb Williams or are you keeping Kyler Murray?
I'm not a
Oh,
fan
yes,
of
you are.
Caleb Williams.
Wow, Fernando. But you're a fan of Kyler Murray?
He's
No,
immature.
hell no.
He has an attitude problem also.
I don't like the little nails thing. That's
He
the
has
one
an
thing
attitude problem.
I don't like that
Gotta do
nails
with football.
thing.
What?
I don't know. Yeah,
not
I don't
football.
know. I want to see him this year. This is the year where I want to see Caleb. I didn't like that game against who did they play? The
Utah.
Alamo?
Utah, yeah.
Oh,
Twice.
yeah.
Utah.
No, but even their bowl game, I didn't like the way he played. So
Yeah, he played against Utah.
no. Their bowl game, they played against some slap dick.
I forgot.
Like Texas.
Oh,
Alamo.
you're right. You're right. And I think they lost.
They
Yeah,
lost.
you're
They
right.
lost.
You're right.
Yeah,
Like Toledo? Was it Toledo?
Yeah,
No,
there
they
you go.
played in the
Toledo, there you
Cotton
go.
Bowl.
Exactly
There you
the
go.
same thing. So,
Close enough.
I
And
wanna
now
see
they're
them do that.
moving. They're moving up a division, I think.
Oh, yes. No, they're going to the
The
Big
Big Ten.
Yeah.
Something.
So I don't know. So I have to still watch, but yeah, I think Caleb Williams is going to be the
Right,
first.
let's not get off track here. Let's go back to phrase.
But yeah, my bad. Going back to that, I don't know. I mean, I think they should move on from Kyler Murray now. Like, and I wonder who would
one's
actually
gonna
pick up
trade for him.
Kyler Murray.
No one's gonna trade for him.
I would actually wonder if they cut Kyler Murray, how many teams would go after him? I bet you it'd be a handful, if not less.
That's my thing. Like, if you were going to move on from
Would
Kyler
you?
Murray, what? Go for it?
Him.
Oh,
Oh, it depends which team too. And one thing I've been noticing, and I feel like I always forget this, Fernando, is like when there's a big time quarterback available. I'm not saying I'm calling Kyler Murray that, but when the teams are always they're interested, are like, was it like 3 or 4 teams? Right? Remember the whole Tom Brady? It was like the Chargers and the
thank
Bucks.
you brought that up. We're going to talk about that
Sorry.
later.
But it's like it's a massive contract. It's always like comes with draft picks and trades and all that. So it's always a complicated thing. And like,
But I feel like that's why nobody wants to pay Lamar, because you have to trade all these draft picks for him, and on top of that, you have to pay him. So that's why I feel like people don't understand that, and they're saying, "Oh, well, it's because of this and that." And I'm like, "No, it's because
obviously they're going to let him write out the tag, and you'll get him for free.
Because look at Washington. Washington's paying Deron Payne, Terry McLaurin. They're paying a lot of guys already, and on top of that, you have to pay Lamar Jackson too. Like, your cap is going to be like, look at the Chargers next year. They have their like 55% of their cap wrapped up in 4 players.
I don't want to hear negative things. I don't want to hear negative things.
Be there. I don't think 2 of those.
I got to check out Whoa, because there's so much.
But what was I going to say? What I was going to say about Arizona. What I was going to say about Arizona is I don't think they draft a quarterback. You already know they're going to be in a top 5 pick next year. That is an absolute dumpster fire. I don't know why he would have left Philadelphia for that. That's just my own opinion.
Oh, Gannon.
Gannon. Jonathan Gannon, or whatever his name is. Jonathan Gannon, I think.
They could go pass rusher this year, rusher next year, and start like kind of going with their defense. I mean, they
just lost their best defensive lineman.
That's what I mean. Like, they just lost their best.
They're not going to move on from Kyler. Like, you already wrapped up so much money in him. You already embarrassed him and yourself by putting the hours of film in the contract. Now you're going to go back on that. Like, how much more of a mess do you want to make this? Because players right now, don't want to come to Arizona for a reason, even though they have probably nice weather out there too. I don't know.
They don't have too hot
out there.
You were just there. They have a Waffle House. Let me ask you a question. I just saw in certain mock drafts, Jalen Carter's now starting to fall to like 18, 19. Is that basically like we should expect, like him to fall that much?
That's not a good sign. Things are probably leaking. That's not good.
Did you see the video of him, like he's driving and the cop stops him and the cop tells him, "Hey, I'm going to let you off with a warning. Like, take your foot off the gas," because he was like 90 and
was that from that 35. Same night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or another, something like that. So that's why I was like, I just saw him, like I saw him mocked. I think it was to like Green Bay at like 18 or.
I wouldn't touch that guy, but then again, I'm not an owner.
My bad. Going back to the way we were on, but yeah, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't doubt Arizona would do it, but I think they need a bigger name at offensive. They need a better offensive coordinator, in my opinion, to kind of be able to deal with the whole quarterback aspect. I just don't know what Kyler Murray is going to give you this year. Especially who's the quarterback now? Colt McCoy.
I don't even think.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about quarterbacks, and we didn't talk about my guy Mike White yet. Well, come on, Mike White to the Dolphins.
Yes.
Well, that's what I want.
Yes.
Okay, so
I
obviously,
am so happy you brought that up.
Gilbert just mentioned it. Mike White signs a 2-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. That was interesting because you would be hearing a lot of rumors about, like Rich Eisen said last week, Tom Brady might be coming out of retirement, and I'm hearing that Miami might be the team. Well, obviously, Miami came out and said Tua's our quarterback. So they're going to keep Tua as their quarterback. Then they signed Mike White. Mike White was a guy that last year with the Jets, he came in. He had some good games. He came in for the Manhattan Milf Hunter. Had some good games. Had some good performances. Unfortunately, he got hurt a couple of times. But I'm going to start off with you, Gilbert, because you're the one that seems the antsiest to answer this. Is this a Mike White? You're going to be a backup and learn from Tua, or is this Mike White? You better be ready because you're probably going to start a couple of games this year.
Real quick, just a small story, but I was writing a story about Daniel Jones or Saquon Barkley, getting paid or franchise tag extension. I'm like, oh, these guys are going to party. I was going to do my story. I'm like, I'm not from New York. Where do the people party in New York? I'm like, oh, Manhattan Milf Hunter. I remember because of you. So, so yeah, and I looked at, oh yeah, Manhattan is actually like a trendy club spot. So
that's what I'm saying.
So you made
my research. When I give nicknames, I do my research.
Okay, all right. But yeah, yes, I'm going. I think it was the first option. Mike White's going there to F things up when it's opportunity to play. And we know Tua has an issue with staying healthy. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to go, but you never know, and he's a smaller guy too as well. Mike White's number gets called. Mike effing White. Remember the shirts from the Jets? Yeah. He provided a spark over Zach Wilson, another first-round pick that
he was a locker room guy.
Didn't pan out, and people loved him. So that one tells me that cool. You want some insurance with Tua, but also you want some pressure on the guy. Like, yeah, he had a great 5 to 10 games, and then he got hurt. Like, that's not a big sample size. He still has a lot to prove. And for now, I'm surprised you haven't brought it up. But Dolphin fans came at me, even though in the story it was like the second to last paragraph where I started getting in the zone about the Jalen Ramsey trade. I'm like, like they're going all in, and we're trying to compare the Dolphins to the Rams. What did the Rams do? Find a quarterback, and that feels like the last piece for the Dolphins. I'm like, if Tua is not the guy like Jared Goff wasn't the guy from McVay, you're out of here. And I think bringing in Mike White is the first step to putting some pressure on the guy. And I think I asked the question, I'm like, how many games is Mike White going to play? I think he might start a couple.
Dan, since you're so antsy, I'm going to let you go second. So go ahead.
Tag me in, Gilberto. Let's go. I will drop my pop-on in a second, but here's my thinking behind this, right? I think you bring up an excellent point, honestly. Like, they are going all in, and you feel like the last part is the quarterback. That's why I don't know what the hell Mike McDaniel's waiting on. I'd be on the phone inviting him to Mai Tais wherever he wanted in South Beach, Miami, wherever the hell he was. I would be flirting with him so hard. I'd say, Tom, you already lost your family. What more do you need? Go get another Super Bowl. Let the kids be with somebody else for the season. Come on. Because in my mind, this is what I'm thinking right now. I think if Tua's at the helm, even if he's healthy, I don't even think they make it to the divisional round, let alone the AFC Championship. Justin Herbert, 100%. If he's on this team, I'd pick him to win the Super Bowl. That's my bias.
Oh, yeah?
100%. But the thing is, it's not a matter of if Tua gets hurt. I think more it's a matter of when. So in my mind, I don't understand what they're waiting for. They do need a quarterback. I don't understand these people who are cheerleading him either. Like, in all honesty, besides all the banter and the crap I give this guy just because I have idiots telling me he's even close to the son of Odin, last year what you saw, like, that is not normal or okay. Who knows how this guy's going to come back, honestly? You just don't know, because all the hits he took were scary, and supposedly he still played games even though he was woozy or whatever else. And it's like, that's not a normal thing. And you already saw, like, Mike McDaniel with the third string quarterback or whatever he was undrafted, I don't remember, took it to the Bills late in the game because the Bills got sloppy and everything else. So it's like, in my mind, if I'm Mike McDaniel, I'm like, I am literally chomping at the bits. I'm a quarterback away. So I'm calling Brady. I guess you can't call the Packers because you have to trade for Rodgers, but I would be looking everywhere to try and find a quarterback. Hell, I'd ask Joe Montana if he'd get in one of these cryo freeze things and see if we could bring him back.
Dan Marino's still there too.
There you go. Bring Dan Marino's ass out of retirement.
They could trade for Lamar Jackson after the draft because of the whole.
But remember they have one of their first round draft pick was taken away because of the Tampa.
I guess but you don't really have something to offer. But it's funny because they kind of screwed themselves by going for Tom Brady last year because they don't like Tua, and then they're kind of like forcefully out of the race to get a quarterback.
They went for Deshaun Watson too last year, so it's like. And by the way, Tom Brady's lying to us. He's like, "Oh, I have a 3-month-old kitten. Like, I have no time. In 5 months, I think it's gonna be 8 months, and he's not gonna give a crap about you. So you might as well, never mind. I don't know. But you might as well. You know he's gonna get that itch pretty soon. I just hope he doesn't Brett Favre everybody and wait until like a week before training camp to because I remember during the months of June and July, NFL Network was always about the Favre watch. The Favre watch. Is he coming back? So, wait, no, don't mention Brett Favre. Never mind.
Allegedly.
So,
Allegedly.
Vic, let me ask you. When it comes to this Tua stuff, one, he's learning jujitsu to try and learn how to fall. That's what they're saying.
Are you serious?
But yeah, that's what they're saying, that he's learning jujitsu.
Why didn't he just go to the WWE training facility? What?
But what do you make of? I mean, I didn't like that his parents were the ones that came out and said, "Oh, he's gonna play next year." I'm kind of like, well, let it come out of his mouth. Like, I don't know. I just think it's a little strange that they're already committing to him without everybody around him is committing without him saying himself, "I want to play quarterback. I want to continue my NFL career."
Yeah, for me, the main thing is with Tua is his health. I just hope that he's okay. Like, we still haven't heard about what his condition is, as far as I know, unless you guys have heard differently. Like, there's been no like, yeah, he's been clear. Like, he's good to go. Like, everything has been like, hey, let's just he's gonna be our quarterback. We're picking up his 5th-year option, and we're good to go. And to me, that's still the main concern for me for me, it's still the big concern is his health going forward. And I think as we approach the season and we get ready for training camp, that'll be the next big step for him. Are we going to see him in preseason at all? And then what happens next? Because when he takes those first couple of hits, that's when we'll know. And now, is Mike White going to be the answer? We don't know. I mean, that I know I'm kind of sounding gloomy here, but that's going to be the big question for me. That's going to be exactly. Yeah, that's the reality. But I feel for him, because if you're the Dolphins, I would still go get I'm glad that they went and got Mike White, because you still have Skylar Thompson there, who we saw against the Bills, and so at least they're protected in that way. You get a not a veteran guy, but like a mid-tier veteran guy, and then you have Skylar Thompson just in case, because it doesn't sound like, yeah, you can come out right now and say you're committed to him, but they still haven't picked up his 5th-year option. I don't, as they said they are, but I think they're gonna wait and see. I don't know when the deadline is for it, but man, it's a tough situation, to be honest.
I think you have to play him in preseason, honestly. To get acclimated to the speed, you have to see what's going to happen. You have to play him in preseason, even if it's only a drive.
Did McDaniel play his guys last year during preseason?
Can't remember.
I think he has
because they had the first team offense playing against the Raiders in the whole first half.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think he remembers vaping some weird stuff on the sideline. Allegedly.
So obviously, let's go around real quick and just give me a winner or a loser, whichever one you want to give me. You guys choose one before we wrap it up, because obviously it's Mimi time. So obviously, let's do that. Vic, start us off. What do you give us, a winner or a loser?
I'm gonna go with. I was talking to Gilbert before we hopped on, and I was telling him that I know everybody was praising the 49ers and for the signing of Javon Hargrave. I don't see it as a winning move. You already have a really good defense already. I think what you needed to do here, if you were the Niners, is get offensive line help to be able to protect your quarterbacks. And like, you have money right now, go in and pay for one of the offensive linemen that you can get out there, like someone like it didn't matter. I just wanted them to go and get some better offensive linemen for your quarterbacks. But Gilbert made a great point and kind of changed a little bit of my thinking. Was that it's hard for players or offensive linemen to pick up Kyle Shanahan's blocking scheme, and that might be something where they rather go and pick up offensive linemen through the draft. But I still don't like that signing, because I'm like, you don't sign players on their third contract, especially of defensive tackle. I would have gone with someone a little bit younger and paid a little bit cheaper of a price, especially if you're trying to get somebody to be a run stopper.
Dan?
I think the two biggest losers today are the 49ers and the Dolphins, and here's why. They both made similar moves. What did they do? They have clear quarterback issues, and I'll say issues with the 49ers because Trey Lance was garbage, got hurt, and then he was caught at strip clubs instead of rehabbing, so that's a thing. Brock Purdy's probably not going to be back till Christmas next year, and we'll see what Santa brings his ass anyway or whatever. Then you have a similar thing in Miami, and both teams, what did they do? They brought in defensive help, and it's like, I totally get the whole idea of you have to load up defensively similar to offensively, but fellas, you still got to score points. Who are you going to do it with? The throwing Samoans start off 5-0, and then here comes the turnaround. You end up 7-9 or whatever their record was. Same with the 49ers. You know, if they had Brock Purdy and he was healthy coming into this year, I'd say, all right, they're going to be all right, but you don't have that. And from what you saw from Trey Lance, Justin Fields outplayed his ass when they played in Chicago anyway. And I think that says a lot. So I think those two, in my mind, are kind of about to be the best teams that never were because they couldn't score points and win games. So I think that's going to be both interesting situations to monitor until the season starts.
Gilbert?
Dan got more time to crap on Tua Tagovailoa.
I never miss it.
I'll give you kind of a quick one on the love, and then I'll get into the one I didn't like. But I like Cameron Sutton going to the Detroit Lions, a good quality cornerback. The Lions need some help in the secondary. I know we're all trying to get Jalen Ramsey to Dan Campbell and give that team another boost to get to the playoffs, because they do need help on the secondary. So getting a versatile player in Cam Sutton who could play inside, outside, it's a big get. I don't know what the Steelers were doing, thinking of replacing him with Patrick Peterson, an older veteran cornerback, but just pay the money for Cameron Sutton. He's a good player, but whatever. And then that's the one I liked, but the one I hated was Tremaine Edmonds. He got the bank, one of the biggest contracts ever for an off-ball linebacker. Yes, off-ball linebacker is devalued just like the running backs. You only play one at a time. And even those guys might not stay on the field at all time. Only the special ones stay on the field at all time. And then the Bears got a deal with TJ Edwards from the Eagles. That's how you pay an off-ball linebacker. And then they go throw in $72 million for Tremaine Edmonds, who, you know, doing my research, struggled in the coverage. If you're going to be struggling in coverage, you don't make that type of money. You pay that type of money for an off-ball linebacker who does everything for you. So,
and you traded Roquan Smith away to Baltimore.
Yeah, so it's weird. You kind of like downgrade in a sense there, and like look at a team like the Colts. They probably wanted to keep Bobby Okereke. I hope I'm saying his name right, but they didn't want to invest in another one because they have Shaquille Leonard, formerly known as Darius Leonard. So they did not do that, and they could have gotten that guy who was still cheaper. Or hey, David Long Jr. from the Titans, who got pretty much nothing in Miami, but he gets to play in Miami, so that's fun too. But yeah, I don't know what the Bears were thinking, and we'll see if they go in for Orlando Brown Jr. in the morning. But that was a head scratcher for me.
Obviously, these are going to look completely different once everything happens in the season and everything. But I'm going to go with the Broncos as winners today. I think they got some offensive linemen. Mike McGlinchey, I'm not a huge fan of. I think he's okay, but I think that it serves the purpose of what they're doing there. Ben Powers, obviously from Baltimore. You know, Baltimore does well with their offensive linemen. Zach Allen, like Gilbert said, I think Zach Allen's kind of a steal for them, and that's definitely going to help them out. So I definitely like what they did. The one team I didn't like what they did was the Carolina Panthers going all in. I saw somebody tweet out, and I thought exactly the same thing. Why the hell would you get rid of DJ Moore when you have a rookie quarterback coming in? Don't you think your rookie quarterback could use the services of DJ Moore? So I just didn't like what they did trading away DJ Moore. And then I don't know if you guys saw this. Supposedly the Panthers might be open to trading away the first. Have we ever had a double trade in the first overall?
No. Is it double fake?
So.
Double fake.
Only in a movie that you talked about last week.
Exactly. Draft day. Exactly. Vic, obviously the Raiders could still jump up to that number 1 overall spot if they if they really want to. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, that was those were mine. The Broncos, I thought as of right now are winners, and the Carolina was a loser. I thought.
Fernando, you forgot to start the controversy. Jarrett Stidham against Russell Wilson in training camp.
Oh, you know what? People might laugh. Well, that could be a conversation in training camp. No, they're not gonna.
Does Jarrett Stidham do high knees in the Isle of Plains? 13 hours.
By the way, do you think Russell Wilson worked out before he went to the Oscars last night?
I was gonna say, did anybody see Fiera last night?
Fran, what are you talking about? He did high knees all the way to the bathroom and butt kickers on the way back to his table. What are you talking about?
Yeah, kicking his own ass back to his
yeah, he's an idiot.
But definitely, thank you guys so much. Again, do not forget the link below. Compas on the Beach merch is now out. Obviously, all four of us are rocking something from it. So, hey, we're actually all rocking one thing for like two sweatshirts, 2 hats, and a Dan and Daygo. So definitely
in the models.
Exactly. So we appreciate you guys. Again, we're doing all for you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully you guys will check out the new merch. Get you a sweatshirt, get you a hat, get you a sticker, get yourself a shirt. Definitely excited about the future of Compas. Again, don't forget to check out What's Up Bolts. Dan and Daygo and I break down the whole Austin Eckler asking for a new contract, whether it be on the Chargers or somewhere else. They added Eric Kendricks. According to him, he broke his own news. That definitely is interesting. Obviously, House of Horns, Gilbert and Vic, the producer, will have you guys
Matt Gay coverage.
Whenever Gilbert is not busy.
Yeah, Matt Gay coverage. We're all waiting for
House so much fun.
Hey, by the way, like I said, don't forget, Matt Gay won the day with that contract. 4 years, $22 million. But go ahead and check out all the Rams right now are sellers, they're not buyers. So definitely interesting to see what the.
Do they even have a first round pick next year?
No. No. Oh, next year they do. Not this year.
Oh, there you go. They'll get Caleb Williams.
Yeah. But will Sean McVay be there? That'll be interesting. And don't forget to check out Comeback Compas. Gilbert and I have a special announcement coming up pretty soon that I think you guys are going to be excited about. And Compas FC, obviously, Champions League is this week. We will be having some more breakdown of Champions League action. So definitely exciting stuff. But we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys again for joining Compas on the Beat. Do not forget, folks, the rest of this week until Thursday, we will be having episodes breaking down all free agency. So don't forget, when you think, free agency, what happened today? Turn to your Compas. We will have everything for you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. But Gilbert, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
That was it. Day one of free agency. It went by quickly. Ya nos vamos, pues. Vámonos.